Mike Bloomberg to raise $16 million to allow former felons to vote in Florida. So, of course, it's a very big swing state, and I covered the topic there of Mike Bloomberg is going to inject $100 million. I think we did a video about that just into the state of Florida alone. So it says here, former New York Mayor Mike Bloomberg and his team have raised more than $16 million. I don't know if he raised it necessarily or if it's just coming out of his own pocket to pay the court fines and fees of nearly 32,000 Black and Hispanic voters with felony convictions at an effort aimed at boosting turnout for Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden, if I could say that properly. The money will go to fund a program organized by the Florida Rights and Restoration Coalition to pay the fines, fees, and restitution costs for former prisoners who were already registered to vote in Florida but barred by law from participating in the election because of those outstanding debts. And there it mentions the $100 million that Bloomberg is planning to pump into the state of Florida to help Joe Biden. Now, what's this all about? If you're not familiar with what's going on here in Florida, we've got basically what happened here is there's a statewide constitutional amendment passed in 2018 that gave former felons, except those convicted of murder or felony sexual offenses, the opportunity to vote in upcoming elections. What do you think of that, guys? Do you think that's a good law? Should we allow that? Allow them to restore their voting rights? Says the Republican-controlled legislature subsequently passed, and the Republican governor, Ron DeSantis, signed a law that conditioned their return to the voting rolls on the payment of all fees, fines, and restitution that were part of their sentence. Now, an interesting little angle here. This says that Judge Barbara Lagoa, who was under consideration by President Trump as a possible replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, cast a concurring opinion in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals upholding the state law requiring payments of debts. So, first of all, what do you think of that? Potential Supreme Court nominee is in favor of this. What do you think of Bloomberg pumping in $17 million to essentially pay off the fines due in order to restore your voting rights? I'd love to know you get your take on that. Quickly, I'll give my take, which is I don't think this is terrible. I think people do run into trouble, and I think that they should have a way of making right potentially. And part of that thing of making things right and restoring your rights would be to pay any outstanding fines or debts and that way you fully make restitution. I don't have a problem with that. But where I might have a problem is someone else paying that for me. That sounds like we're getting really close there to buying votes. That's what it feels like to me. I don't have anything wrong. I don't really have a problem with the law per se, but I think that those people should. I mean, that's still your debt to society, and that is your debt to pay. And I understand that could be difficult to find employment and all that, but that's part of the deal. I think you're released. Now you make a mistake. You want to make it better. You pay your debt by serving time, and then you have to further pay that debt by making restitution. I don't think that's unfair to expect people to pay them for themselves. And this seems a little bit shady to me. Particularly, it's a bit cynical, isn't it? By Mike Bloomberg expecting that, well, if I pay all these off, that'll give more voters for Biden. I think that's very, very cynical. I don't like it, but I don't have any problem really with the law per se. I just think that people should have to, you got to make it right on your own. That's my take. Love to know what you think.